Hello and welcome to Tommy Talks TV, the place to be to build great love relationships. I'd like to start by saying a very big thank you. Thank you for all your likes and your shares and your comments on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I really appreciate you because you're helping us spread the message further, faster. So thank you very much indeed. Now today I'm going to be taking one of your questions and it goes like this. I feel like I'm giving everything in my relationship, but my fiance doesn't seem to appreciate it. What can I do? Now, that's a very interesting question. You haven't given me a lot of detail as to what exactly it is you're doing or what it is that your fiance is complaining about. However, there are two ways to look at this issue. Firstly, it could be that she simply has unrealistic expectations of you, because sometimes, you know, as human beings, you know, we grow up with all sorts of ideas of what a relationship is supposed to be like, you know, and how our fiance or our fiancé is supposed to behave when we finally get into a relationship. So, you know, she may be expecting that, you know, if I think this way, he should act that way. You know, if I do this, then he should do that. And that may actually be the scenario that you're experiencing right now. Sometimes when people have romantic fantasies of what a relationship should be like, then they try to transpose those fantasies onto a relationship, and when it doesn't seem to work, you know, they begin to get disappointed in the relationship and disappointed in the person that they're in the relationship with. So that may be one of the issues that she's facing, and if that is the case, then she will need to come to terms with the fact that, you know, she needs to realize that she's in a relationship with a normal human being, and, you know, no human being has the capacity to anticipate and expect, you know, and understand exactly where you are at every point in time and to behave exactly how you expect them to behave at every point in time. So that's probably one area that she needs to deal with. On the flip side, though, you know, you need to be asking yourself, what exactly is it that she's complaining about? Because it may well be that you haven't correctly interpreted her needs, and even though you feel like you're giving your all in the relationship, maybe what you're giving is not exactly what she needs. I'll tell you what I mean by that. You may have heard of the concept of love languages. So every human being, you know, has a particular love language or a number of love languages. That's to say, a number of ways in which they tend to express love. And because of that, we tend to expect people to give love to us the same way that we express love. Now, when you enter into a relationship, the likelihood is that you will try to speak your love language to your fiancé or your fiancée, and, you know, they will try to speak their love language to you. And then sometimes you have a disconnect because maybe what you're giving her is not exactly what she needs in the relationship. Now, there are 5 love languages that were identified by a man called Gary Chapman, and I'll just run through them very briefly. I've got a more detailed video on love languages. The first of them is words. So people whose love language is words tend to, you know, like to talk, you know, and you know, give you nice words and talk about how much they love you and all that. And it may be that, you know, that's the sort of thing that she wants. She wants you to express your love to her more verbally. Then there are others whose love language is acts of service. So they tend to do things. If they love you, they would do things for you. You know, they will go out of their way, go out on a limb to just do things to satisfy you, even if they're not particularly, you know, verbal, or, you know, maybe they don't show any other love language, but they like to do things for people. Then there are people whose love language is gifts, and they're very easy to recognize. So they're always looking for this or that to give to people to express their love. And if that's her love language, then you may find that she's complaining, you know, if you don't come with little surprises. Very often for such people, it's not just the value of the gift, but the thought, the fact that you were thinking about them and you got them something is important to them. Then there is the love language of touch. Now, obviously, this one you need to be careful of when you're in a relationship, because, you know, you've got to be careful of, you know, how you go about touching in a relationship as opposed to when you enter into marriage. But it's well worth recognizing that there are some people, you know, for whom a touch goes a long way. So you tend to find that people who, when they talk, they tend to touch people, you know, and all that, you know, they pat you when they're talking to you and all. That may well be her love language. And lastly, there's the love language of time. People who, you know, whose love language is time, like you to spend quality time with them. So for instance, if your love language is service and you want to do things for them, they would rather you forget about doing things for them, but rather just spend time with them, sit with them, you know, and, you know, you may not be doing anything particularly important, but the fact that you took out time to be with them means a whole lot to them. So now you need to ask yourself, of these 5 love languages, what do you think is your fiance's love language? and which is your love language. What things is she complaining about? Is she complaining that you're not spending enough time with her? Is she saying that maybe you're not verbalizing your love to her? Is it gifts? Whatever it is, try to interpret what her love language might be. And it may be that if you adjust yourself from, speaking your love language to her to beginning to try to speak her love language, then you might find a place of balance in your relationship. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or Twitter. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tommytalks.com/ask and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.